Here are 8 email tips for sales hackers. A lot of these tips are from Eric Schmidt, the former CEO of Google. Number 1, respond quickly. According to Eric Schmidt, essentially there's 2 types of people. People who respond quickly and who can be counted on to respond quickly, and those who can't. And what he says is the busiest people in the world still find ways to respond quickly to everyone, not just the most important emails, not just to your CEOs, but to everyone. Even little things like got it, thanks, etc. help establish communication. In email, which is asynchronous communication, it's super important to respond as much as possible to people as quickly as possible. Keep it short. Write short, non-flowery emails. Every word matters. No more than 5 sentences. Keep full spacing, a full return between each sentence. An example of what that might look like is something like this. Return, return, return. It's very, very spaced out. Keep your inbox clean. Try to stay as close to inbox 0 as possible. Once emails begin to build up, even if you have priority inbox set up, it's still going to be overwhelming and you're going to be drowning. There's no reason to spend a ton of time thinking about what you should attack in your inbox. You should just attack it. I agree with Eric, and obviously he's much more skilled in this facet than I am. What I would say is when you are planning out your day, lay out the most important emails for the day, and make sure you document those and that you accomplish those emails. Typically, the way I do it is I book an hour at the beginning of the day for hot emails and tasks, basically attacking the inbox. But as I'm planning out my day, before I dive into the inbox, I will document in Asana what specific emails I need to get out that day that are super important. Do Inbox LIFO. Last in, first out. Essentially, handle the emails that are the most recent. And what this basically does, most of the older emails take care of themselves. If you didn't act on it right away, obviously it wasn't that important. If you didn't prioritize it via Asana or your task manager and just specifically say, I must email this person today, then it must not be that important. So use last in, first out. And like I said, use Asana to make sure you're prioritizing which emails are super important. Yes, you should be knocking out the most recent emails first. At the same time, there's emails that have certain priorities and others that don't, and make sure you're prioritizing before diving in. Track requests. I think that there's just a variety of different tools you can use to track these emails. Labels, filters, starring, etc. Also using Asana for specific asks or requests based on those emails. This is a good one. Use keyword-heavy subject lines. 2 different ways to do this. One is you can forward emails to yourself and change the subject line in order to make them keyword-heavy. That's a great tip. Also, sometimes you're in a conversation with someone and it's gone stale, or the subject line was literally one word, like introduction. You should change that subject line. If it's a certain company, let's say I got an introduction to General Electric. Maybe the subject line for my friend was just intro to Matt. Then me and the gentleman at General Electric started discussing things. Then I would, mid-conversation, potentially change the subject line to General Electric times Stack Social, or General Electric plus Matt. That way I have a very, very keyword-heavy subject line. It says General Electric, so I can easily search General Electric or GE in my Gmail, and I can find it quickly, as opposed to introduction to Matt. I may have hundreds of those. So ask questions and use CTAs, calls to actions. You want to ask questions in your emails at the very end, or you want to use calls to action in order to get your requests handled. So the way it would work is, let's say you have a request for someone and you want to know what time they're available. So you give them your little pitch, you explain your company, and the last sentence is, are you available Monday at 1 or Tuesday at 3? There it is. Boom. You've laid the question out. You've laid the ask out. You've made it very simple for them to respond and say, yes, I'm available at that time or no. Calls to action are the same thing. Make it simple for the person you're emailing to just respond with a yes or no, a maybe, whatever. Give them an easy call to action. Say, please email me by this date with this information. Make it easy for them to take the action, to know what you're looking for, to know what the action item is or deliverable is on your email. And use keyboard shortcuts. Every email client, Gmail, Outlook, etc., has keyboard shortcuts. You have to master keyboard shortcuts with email in order to truly become an email sales hacker.